So walking into season two, was there anything theme-wise that you knew that you wanted to cover or experiment with for this season? I'll start with you, Pat.
Yeah, the first thing I told Jordan when we got picked up, we have to do the black hair episode, but because it was on the list for the first season, but we only had 10 episodes. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to do. And he knocked it out of the park.
And Jordan, was there anything for you that you wanted to add in to cover?
Yeah, I knew going in, I knew that I wanted to tackle that. I knew that I wanted to tackle the abortion episode. That was something that was super important to us moving in, even before the whole Roe v. Wade of it all. I knew that I wanted to do an homage episode to I Love Lucy, and I considered that robbery episode our homage to I Love Lucy. And then also the stuff with her childhood and her relationship with her mom. And I just wanted to use season two as a way to really getting a chance to know how Pat works and why she thinks the way she does and why she acts the way she does, and really, really get deeper into that relationship and how it really affected both of these women, Pat and Denise, in their adult lives.
So Pat, that's a good segue. I wanted to ask you, because this is loosely based on your life and you're selecting what elements you want to include. Was there ever a moment or anything that you thought, maybe I shouldn't include that, or maybe I want to leave that out because it's different? I know you have your comedy thing, but seeing it acted out might make it differently. So was there any topic or subject matter that you were like, I don't know about that one?
Yeah, it was the molestation episode with my mama boyfriend. Jordan wanted to do it in season one, and we had it was approved, and we was ready to go with it. And I just told him, I said, that's a story that I haven't really told out loud yet, and I don't want to tackle it in the first season. So I was like, if we get a second season, can we do it then? Maybe the healing will be a little bit more, because I mean, we was going for the gusto in the first season. It was so much crying, and I was like, I'm tired of crying. So we took it off the plate and we put it back on there on the second season. So that was one episode that really rocked me.
So if you had to put a theme on season two, or something that you wanted to make sure that the audience took away with besides the funny, is there a topic, or was it just we're going to touch on these areas and how it comes together is how it comes together?
I think really that relationship, going back to the whole mom daughter of it all, that really was I call her mom was the ghost of the season to me, because that storyline ran through so many of the episodes in terms of parenting. Even the episode with the school dance, where Pat gets the date for Janelle and all that. Like, even that, the mom is the engine for all of these stories. And I actually think that the episode that she's talking about, the molestation episode, works so much better in season two with that mom storyline and with the healing of it all. And healing is really the key word that it seems to be for season two, for all these characters in so many different ways. Even Terry, goes through his own thing, and Denise has her own, journey in this season as well. So it's really a healing journey, right?
Yeah, we call it a season of healing.
Yeah.
A season of healing. That's beautiful. Well, on the funny side, Pat, you have such great chemistry with Jay Bernard, with Tammy, with all the cast, but with those two especially, those are some of my brightest moments that I love. Let's just like down on the floor laughing. What has been that experience like, bonding with those two and then coming back for season two to build on what you guys set out with in season one?
Oh, it's been great. I tell Tammy and Roman all the time, I say, we might be on TV, but you really feel the void in my life. Because my sister is on drugs, and I never had the relationship that me and Tammy had on TV, but that's the relationship I always had. And, and I'm a comedian, and I'm coming in, he brought, when he helped me create the show, he put me on a show where people can really act. And I was terrified. But Tammy and Jay Bernard is from the theater. Everybody just wrapped their arms around me and was like, we got you. And that's what I loved about it. I'm just, they didn't look at me, oh, she's a star, she can figure it out. They're like, no, we in this together from day one.
So as you're pulling it together, you mentioned I Love Lucy. Are there any other comedy shows or series that you wanted to infuse little bits of into season 2 to make sure that you were, you know, touching from the past and giving it those your own little tweak on those ideas?
Absolutely. That's really what the show is. It's really like my love for sitcoms just stitched up into a new thing. I would say there's episodes that feel like I Love Lucy. There's episodes that feel like Martin. There's episodes that feel like Good Times. The abortion episode was particularly inspired by Norman Lear Maude. You know, his Maude episode that was done in 1974. And it's so crazy that it's still just as taboo and still just as rough to talk about and sensitive as it was then. So really it's really like a quilt of all of my favorite sitcoms, this show. And it's so cool to watch and really see people enjoy it as much as I do.
So, Pat, as you are entering into your second season of this, what were some areas that in season 1 that you weren't really sure about or uncomfortable with that in season 2 you're like, we got this, I'm ready, full speed ahead with?
Just opening the book to some of the most personal things ever. You know, like my kid's father in that episode, just getting my strength back, and I felt like I won. We cried so many times in season 1, season 2 too. So just if I said he wants to make an episode out, and I have to trust him. So one of the biggest things I had to learn first season is to trust him with some of the most vulnerable moments in my life and embarrassing moments. Because he'll take them, girl, and we're going to do them. I'm like, well, hold on now. Hold on.
It's funny because it kind of became, just because we're so close, this show to me is really a therapy session for her. Like, there's a lot of things that I feel like she hasn't had a chance to talk about and a lot of things that she hasn't had a chance to deal with. And sometimes I'll put things in an episode on purpose just so she could see it for the first time and be like, huh, I do that, don't I? Or I do move like that, don't I? I do talk like that, don't I? So it's as much as it is a therapy session for the audience and for us, it's just as much for her. So it's that's what I love the most, actually, is the healing and the work that's being done.
And it's a lot too. I mean, this show has helped me close quite a few doors between season 1 and season 2. Because he opened them and I didn't know how I was going to get them back closed, but now they're closed with no secret behind them.